Hi, welcome back to Just Lala Unfiltered, the podcast. And today you have Just Lala. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming back. And thank you guys for supporting me. Today, you guys will be my co host. You are always my special guest, and I'm so appreciative for you returning back to me. Today, I decided to do a solo episode with just me catching you up on what's been going on, going into some things that I've been going through, and then we do have a topic, and we'll get into that briefly. But I want to start this episode a little differently. I want to start with a prayer because God has brought me so far. I'm actually following my dreams and I'm actually being supported by friends, family, and strangers. And I just want to say thank you so much. So if you don't pray, just pray this one time with me. Okay? All right. So thank you, God, for bringing me here today safely in the rain. Thank you, God, for allowing me to follow my dreams. Thank you, guys, for people that don't know me. Thank you, God, for my husband, my family, and for my new developing community. I just want to thank you and say I appreciate you for taking care of me along this journey, along with all of my supporters. Amen. So that was my thanks to the big God, okay? Because without him, would not be here today. I also want to follow up with the last few topics I had. They were topics that we picked together, me and the guests. So some people were nervous. Some people haven't been on camera before, so I just want to ask for your continued grace. I know that I've been getting critiqued about the sound and things like that. Just give my guests some grace because all of them, I've had a relationship with, and we're all friends to some extent. So please give them some grace. It's their first time, just like it's my first time. So it's everybody's first time. So I'm sure we have the potential to grow and we're going to get better. So just give it some grace and continue to critique, continue to put your comments, continue to add your suggestions, continue to support in whatever way you can. If you can listen to it, subscribe, like, I would appreciate it. If you want to comment, please do. If you want to DM me privately, if you want to collab with me, please do so. Reach out so that we can make those arrangements because I'm open to collabing with anyone. And everyone who I have collabed with, I've reached out to some, but they reach out to me. My friends want to support me, and strangers are reached out as well. So don't be afraid to reach out to me, and we can make arrangements so that we can film together and create and collab because content is key. All right, so today is a little different. It's been so much going on in the media. So I want to talk about Sugar Daddy versus Sugar Mama. Okay. What do you guys think about that? Leave your comments below. So I want to get into some real talk about that. I want to go into the juicy and layered conversation. We're going to talk about the stereotypes, the good, the bad, and talk about some celebrity age gaps and even some trauma that influences people's decision on why they decide to date older or younger. Because I think a lot of that influences your decision making from childhood and the way you were raised and how you grew up. So let's get into it. So first I want to define because I'm a woman of definition. So I'm going to come with a definition. I know someone knew that. Shout out to Lacey. um so sugar daddy is often pictured as an older, wealthier man supporting a younger woman financially in exchange for companionship and intimacy. So, can you think about a time in your life as well that you dated someone that was older because they were a little bit more financially stable than you were? Sugar mama is defined as is less talked about, but it's a stereotype is an older woman financially stable that's taking care of a younger man. The double standard in society often glamorizes the sugar daddy lifestyle, but it shames the women who do the same. And I've seen that recently with a celebrity couple. Some of you may or may not be familiar with Drea Michelle and her child's father or her boyfriend, Jalen. He's an NBA player, and they have, I want to say, a 17-year age gap. And I see a lot of negative comments because I want to say that he's the same age as her son. As y'all know, I'm really overly opinionated. It just goes with the topic. They're saying in the comments on social media that he is the same age as her son. She's disgusting. She's robbing the cradle. She shouldn't do this. And when you look at the flip side, how long men have been doing it for so long, even the Playboy bunnies, the mansions, it's always glamorized when a man finds a younger woman, marries her. It's never really, lately with the new generation, I want to say, they have been saying things like, putting up the P word and it ends with Ilya. So, put two and two together. Now it's been like talked about more that, men shouldn't do this. They shouldn't date women so young. They shouldn't groom women. So now it's becoming a stereotype on both parts. But usually when a man marries a younger woman, a woman that's not as financially stable, is not deemed a bad thing. Lately, it's been on both ends. I can see how it's becoming a balance, how it's not supported on either end these days. And that's an interesting turn of events. So I want to go into the good of dating an older person. Stability is a good thing. Mentorship. Sometimes in relationships you need guidance, not just money. Excuse me. Adventure. Usually younger people are more adventurous. They like to have a good time. They'll feel with energy, and they bring their partner along. And also, some relationships balance each other out, because I want to say when men are playful, right? And sometimes women usually mature faster than men. So when a man is still playful, he's into this and that or whatever, he gets a younger woman that is kind of on that level of, still giddy, still playing. But then they say also they don't really care to have too much conversation with younger women. They just like to, use them as a showpiece and, the bedroom thing. But sometimes those relationships turn into long-standing relationships, and they develop families, get married, and have children out of those relationships. So it's not all bad. But it's also, we go into the good, the bad, and the ugly, like the power dynamic. Sometimes those relationships are negative because one person has more money and the other person, so they utilize that as manipulation, exploitation. Sometimes younger partners feel trapped and used in those relationships. Judgment of friends, family, society, personal situations that I've experienced when I was younger was like my father was absent. If you know my story, a little bit of it, he was incarcerated throughout my entire life. Like, he's still incarcerated. He got out, but he's been there like 30 years at this point. So I didn't have a strong father figure. So when I began dating, I always dated older. And I didn't realize what that was about until I got into therapy and started, going on my own journey. So I started dating older men because I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to feel secure, and I didn't have a strong father figure that was guiding me and leading me. So I decided that, hey, this person is stable. This person has this. This person can do that for me. And in the end, it was okay. But again, that power shift, that power dynamic is like, well, you need me, or I won't do this for you if you don't do that. Or this person will go missing or not take my calls as a manipulation tactic because that's their control. So, and then I had situations, I'll talk about that in a minute. But this situation began to be negative. It was very, very, very manipulative. It was them using their money as a power dynamic to control me and what I did, where I went, and they wouldn't do for me. That's why I said, and I don't know, one of the episodes, please watch them all. But I said, don't allow a man to feed you, and whatever he do for you is all you have done. Like, whatever he feeds you is all you have to eat. That's what I meant by that, because they will use that as a control tactic. And so you will be caught up in a matrix of not having and then having and not having and then having, because that's that power dynamic. So I went through that for a lot of years in my life, dealing with men that had more, that I, from my poor background, I was okay in life, but I didn't have a lot, and I seen the glitz and glam what the guys had. So I'm like, well, he has all of this, so he's able to save me. I was looking for a savior. Like, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to live like this. I want to be in the nice cars and wear the nice clothes and live the fun life, So pull me out of here. And once dating these people, I seen that they exhibited behaviors and activities that were not safe for me. And it was not the best environment for me to be in. And I felt like I was being emotionally abused, not physical. But when someone is toying with your feelings, your emotions, they have multiple women, they're being dishonest with you, they're making babies on you, like all kinds of crap. And you're like, hold on. As I'm growing up, I deserve more than this. I don't deserve this. You cannot treat me like this just because I don't have, everything that you have because you're doing whatever it is you're doing. That does not make me less of a person. So that's why people don't understand where I come from or my attitude about things, because you don't know my story. You don't know why the independence came, because you don't know what I've been through to get here. You don't know why I'm so about the things that I hold dear and I love, because you don't know what it took for me to get it. You don't know how hard it was for me to conceive that baby and what they told me about having a baby when I was 18, that I could never carry one. You don't know my story, so don't judge me on how I parent. Don't judge me on how I love my daughter. Don't judge me on how I protect my husband and my marriage, because you don't know what it took for me to get here. You don't have a blues clue. So I feel like to judge me and you just met me, or you my aura is something that you can't get with because it's confident. I'm not arrogant by no means. Anytime you call me, I'm answering. For all the people that call themselves in their bag of feelings about whatever, I know I supported you in some way. I was there for you in some way, and I added value to your life in one way or another, whether you wanted to admit it or not. I don't do things for praise. I do things out of love. And each and every individual, whether they want to admit it or not, I added something to them. And I'm not saying they didn't add something to me. That's not what I'm saying. But if you don't know what a person has been through, you should not judge them or their situation. Because this topic is so close and dear to me, because it's something that I experienced. I've always dated older, wealthier men because I needed to feel safe. I needed to feel something I didn't get from my father. I needed to feel something I felt like I was missing from my mother. I needed attention. I needed things that money could not buy. The money was a perk, but once I realized this is some BS, I can make my own money, and I want to be treated with respect, and that's why I go hard about my respect. You don't get to disrespect me, because it took me too long to get here. It took me too long to feel confident in myself. Do you know I was bullied as a kid? Do you know that I went through so many different things? It is not a woe me. Don't get it twisted. It's I went through some things. That's why I'm here today. I had to endure some things. That's why I'm here today. That's why I started off thanking God, because I followed my dreams and I didn't let you naysayers talk me out of my dream. So don't get it twisted and confused, me being confident with arrogant or thinking I'm better than you. No, sweetie. When I cried them tears, when I was depressed, when I was calling that man phone, he wasn't answering for me. He popping out with other women, sleeping with my friends, making babies with my friends that I called friends. And I'm boohoo crying. You weren't wiping my tears, baby. When I had studied to be a nurse, you weren't studying with me, baby. So don't come judging me when you don't know what I've been through. And if you've ever called my phone or ever been in my presence and said something to me, you can't say I was nasty to you, I was rude to you, I was disrespectful to you. You cannot say that, because I come in and I leave with respect, because I demand mine. Moving to the next thing. Sorry. So we're going to talk about when it comes to the good parts of it. So I also dated guys older that were great guys that encouraged me, that supported me, that poured into me, that encouraged my dreams. I am a nurse because of me, because of my mental and my brain and my studying, but I had somebody backing me, financially supporting my dreams. So whatever it is I wanted to do, they said you should do this. I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. And we wasn't no longer in relationship or none of that. This is somebody that realized I was a good person and I didn't need to go that route, that they were going to support me and being who they seen for me, because they finally seen me. So they encouraged me to go to school, and whatever I needed during that time, that person took care of it. When I had my first baby, that person pulled up with a U-Haul truck full of diapers and wipes, like, here you go. Like, no, we not together, but I got you. I'm going to support you because you was good to me, and I did not value you, and I did not value me, because we were young, But all people, aren't bad people, whether they older or younger. You just don't know. You don't know the type of connection you're going to find with someone if you're judging them off of one encounter, or you judging them from Instagram or social media or whatever. You don't know people until you know people. And it took some time for me to learn that. It took time for me to be confident in myself. But dating older was not a bad thing for me either. It wasn't all bad. I learned a lot from each individual. I was supported from every individual. I'm not going to say someone just took wholly advantage of me. No. Whatever I wanted to do, they supported me. Now, I'll tell you another little story. I want to be I wanted to get out the hood so bad. I wanted to get out of Highland Park so bad. I tried to be a stripper. Yep, I did. So I went with this girl that I so-called was friends with. And we went to this club. We went and bought these shoes. We did this whole thing right. And I was going to do it because I was tired of being in the hood. I wanted to drive a fancy car. I'm young, like maybe 19, 20. I'm like, I can get a license now. I think at 18 or whatever, we can do this. So me and the girl went and we walked in and the guy looked. He looked at us both. He basically was like, what you here for? I'm like, I'm here to try out amateur night. I want to dance. He was like, dance here? I'm like, yeah. And he looked at my friend. She's like, yeah, I'm here too. And he was like, y'all sit right there. So they came back, and they pulled her to do it. And I was like, well, I was like, wait, I got my stuff. I could do it too. He was like, come here, let me talk to you. So he pulled me to the side, and y'all ain't gonna believe what this man said to me. He pulled me to the side, and he said, let me tell you something. This is where she belongs. This not no place for you. You're beautiful. You seem to be smart. You can articulate your words when you called on the phone. You seem business oriented, and you can get caught up in this lifestyle because you would do well if I let you get on that stage. You're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. But what you're gonna do is get caught up in this lifestyle, and I just don't want to introduce another girl to this life. Go and be great. So you might dance somewhere, but you're not dancing here. And I promise you that's the story. And that man made me sit down. And I watched the girl that was so-called my friend do her little dance, and she was great. And I think she entertained it for a while, but, we lost contact, because she was one of the people that was sleeping with my man, my so-called man or whatever, So my older guy, they were doing their thing, So that relationship ended. But I said that story to say this is me just being transparent with y'all, letting y'all know I've been through things. That's why I am the way I am. But I'm also still loving, kind, care. I'm all those things. I'm all of the things. I'm not what you are to me because I want to be better to you than you be to me because I want to be, treated with God's grace. I want to, rebuild relationships that are rebuildable. I want to build community. That's why I started this podcast. I just want us to be, open. And I always say we gonna heal because I got so much healing to do. That's one story. Do you know how many more? It's tons of them that I've been through. And people don't even have a clue because everything, not everybody business. But now I'm an open book. I'm married. I'm happy. And I can share certain things with you guys and not feel ashamed because that's my life. That's my story. But if you don't know a person's story, again, that judgment comes in, that, confusing confidence with arrogance and all those things. So that's why, again, this topic was, held dear to my heart because I experienced it. That was my life. I didn't know nothing else. Growing up in the hood, you see the guys with the big cars, the rims and all that. You think that's the life. That's what you're supposed to be. I tell my husband all the time, he laugh at me. I'm like, my only goal in life was to be a dope boy's girl. Like, I want to be that girl. I want to be that chick. I want to be riding with him. I want to be that girl. I had no other aspirations until I started reading more. So I started, catching flights and first class flights and seeing how people live and being intrigued in what people were doing outside of. Then I started to have a business mindset. I wanted to own things. So I had to be exposed to those things because, again, you could be a product of your environment or you could be 10 times better if you choose to learn different. So I want to go in briefly back to the topic to celebrity age gaps and relationships just so we won't. It's not always bad, That's why I'm telling y'all, stories. With celebrity relationships, you guys are familiar with Jay-Z and Beyoncé. If not, they are a huge, huge celebrity couple, billionaire couple, and they have a 12-year age difference. George Clooney is an actor. His wife, Amal, they have a 17-year age gap. Gabrielle Union Dwyane Wade have a 9-year age gap. So those are a few couples that you may be aware of that have huge, age gaps, and they're thriving as couples. They're doing what they do and they do it well. So it's not always a bad thing. But again, as I spoke briefly, that for me, it was a trauma response of just the way I grew up. That's why I did what I did and why, again, the topic was chosen because I feel like girls can relate, women can relate. And then also look back on your childhood and see and dissect. Why are you who you are? Why do you yell at your child? Why do you get frustrated and you take it out on other people? Some of that stuff stems from childhood. And once you recognize those triggers and begin to hear yourself, and see, you want something different. You don't want to raise your kids how you were raised, or you don't want to do what your mother did or father did, or you want to be different. You want to be healthy. You want to exude, positivity, because it's so much negative out here in the world. Every day is something going on. There's something terrible going on. These women are getting hurt, so just be mindful and wake up and pray to whoever you pray to. Do whatever you need to do to fulfill you, because it's so much negativity going on. Don't let that consume you. And I'm halfway through a season of this podcast. I have 12 episodes that makes a full season, and I'm halfway through. This is episode 7, you guys. Episode 7. Can you believe that I decided to follow my dream? And I'm constantly waking up thinking how I could be better, thinking what I could add to the show, thinking of, what other guests would I like, what Detroit artists I want to collab with. I'm just trying to expand and be better. So do the same. Think of what today. I want you all to do something for me and put it in the comments. What did you do today for you? Do one thing for yourself. Do one thing, write down one goal for yourself. Do one thing that you've always wanted to do, even if you put it on your bucket list to do the end of the year or whatever. Pour into you, because you are important too. If you can't pour from an empty cup, you're watching me literally, or listening to me, or however you're consuming this content, follow my dream. People said I couldn't do it. People said it would flop, it would fail. No, I'm not listening to the naysayers. I'm doing what's for me. And I'm taking every step every day to be better at this, to be a better person, period. So that is it for my ranting today. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, Sugar Daddy, Sugar Mama, or dating older and younger, it does not have to be all bad, I think you should do what's for you. I think you should do what God is leading you to do, or your spirit, or your first mind. I think you should tap into that. So if that's something you're interested in, if you listen to what people say, you won't be nothing. Trust me, I was told I would be nothing. Zero, nada, from family. So don't listen to the naysayers. Your naysayer could be laying next to you in the bed. That could be your husband. If that man ain't pouring into you and feeding into you, then maybe you should investigate on getting another husband. The husband said, the Bible do say you can't get a divorce for some reasons. Now just read it. I don't want to Bible quote you, but dive into it so you can know what I'm talking about. You do not have to stay where you're not wanted and you're not being supported. If you're in a relationship, it's not feeding you or supporting you, get out of that relationship. Choose you. It's about to be 2026. Choose you. It's time. It's time. You put yourself on a back burner for too long. You've dismissed your dreams for too long. You can't be a mother and follow your dreams. We don't talk about my girl, but I love Cardi B. You could be a mother. You could be a mother 4 or 5 and follow your dreams. It's all about what you do, how you do, and how you prioritize. So put in the comments what you're going to do to follow your dream. Put in the comment what you've been putting off, what you're going to start doing today to start pouring into yourself. You use your job to build your empire. Use your job to fund your dream. And I want you to tell me what you're doing to fund your dream every single day. I want to talk about it. Comment, DM me, collab with me. Let's follow our dream together. That's why we're here. So thank you guys so much for listening to me rant. Just me and you, my friends, because I'm building my community. I love you so much. And here on Just Lala Podcast, I want us to continue to be raw, real, and authentic, because being real yourself is the standard, not the exception. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you.